Awesome. So for today, we're going to talk about a couple of things. One is, of course, a lot of people are concerned about the jobs in 2026. I, on the other hand, am not concerned at all because there's specific things I'm proactively doing, and I'm teaching my students to do the same. So I feel bullish, as they say, when it comes to 2026 and 2027 are becoming not product managers but product builders. Management is great, but we still have in 2025 a lot of titles of product management, but the even the titles will change, and that's what I see as tendency already, and I predict it's going to be even more so. And I'll share with you what it's going to look like. Okay, so who am I? I'm Ellie Owens. I've been in product management for the last 12-ish years now. I've worked at T-Mobile as senior product manager. I've had product managers kind of under me, and we had a lot of different products that we were lucky to build. I've worked in different departments at T-Mobile, and the latest one that I worked for 3 years was the cloud. And it was kind of an innovations lab at T-Mobile back then. That was 2017, 2020, before the Sprint merger. And so we were lucky to build really complex systems like a serverless while it wasn't popular yet. It was called Jazz. There was a Packbot that is a compliance tool, if you simplify it, but it would basically look at all different cloud usage from, Azure, AWS, GCP, and break it down per department. Anyway, uh, different tools for developers actually. And then as I moved to Microsoft, it was first chatbots, and I was thinking, oh, it's kind of not so exciting. But then 2023 came, and we were building AI agents, so that got really fast and really exciting. Long story short, other than working for corporations, I started teaching product management back in 2021, starting with my friends, and I really enjoyed it. And as you see the progress of your students, you have so much fun. And every time I have the graduation, I tear up. We just had a graduation this week. And it's just amazing to see the progress of people make. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram, Ellie Owens Tech. You can email me. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. A lot of you probably have seen my posts on LinkedIn, and that's how you found me. And as I share my deck, you can find our website, upskillpm.org, and learn more about what it is that we offer. And now let's get straight to the agenda. So first, we're going to go through the big shift, new roles emerging, AI weaknesses, skills that matter, how to become more technical, AI tools that already exist for PM to improve work today. And frankly, I need to double check if I have included this slide, but we can talk through it. There's several tools that you probably have started using, and if you haven't, this will be our discussion. Okay, and then your 90-day plan that I recommend if you have zero of knowledge about uh, APIs, about how does AI work, what is ML, what is AI, all those things, and then how to grow your presence on LinkedIn. So stay till the end so you get really good nuggets, especially about LinkedIn that I think a lot of you don't even know. So, okay, let's get to it. So the big shift, I think we kind of all know it already. Just knowing the audience that is here, a lot of you are already pretty technical. So you can see that the execution um, portion of work is can be used by AI and enhanced, right? Like the AI is um, just a tool that helps you excel, but you're the one who has uh, the big brain. They have AI is basically the small brain, but it only multiplies what you give it, right? And there's of course limitations. If you talk about ChatGPT or Claude, there's only public knowledge, right? It really matters what you feed the model with to get better results. Okay, decision owners are rising, so you still have to make all the decisions, and output multiplies. Again, I think these are very well-known facts, so I'm not going to stay too long in here. We're clear about these three, right? What are these roles? Okay, so I've been talking about product orchestrator role since spring of this year, and I see more and more of this role emerging. And basically, what it is not, before you were working between humans. Now you're orchestrating, you have the AI agents that you're building, and you also are the person who is between the user, the customer, and the AI agents, right? You're orchestrating it. But not only that, we predict that each human will have its own AI agent, right? As they're playing with ChatGPT, they're getting used to that, or they can use Claude or all other models. We predict that every person will have its own AI agent, and then our agents talk to their agents. Yeah, it's not happening yet, but this is where we're heading towards. So when it comes to corporations, we're already doing that, right? Like if you would take Copilot at Microsoft, there's specific AI agents built into each product today. A lot of them are not customer facing, but they're internal, right? They're helping the agents, they're helping employees. And if we take Excel, which is like a more of a B2C product, right? You can also have a Copilot within Excel, Outlook, and so on and so forth. I honestly don't know what version is already out there in public, but I know it's definitely happening. So that's the role of a product orchestrator. Focuses on outcomes and makes decisions. It's more strategic, and it's for fast scaling orgs, which I think today everybody is trying to scale fast. When it comes to AI augmented product lead, what is that? You've probably seen product lead jobs already in postings. These could be the people who are focusing on they're working with data-rich environments. They have a lot of data to source out, and they are focused on mid-tier work. So they don't necessarily set up the vision. They're not like C-suite, right? But they would be product leads. And so again, these different variations of titles that don't mean that you're bound to just this. These are the patterns that I see, and I'm describing them as I see them, and also what I predict is going to be like new roles that you're going to be Googling and searching for or ChatGPTing for in 2026. And I'll show you the reasoning why I think that way. And then systems PM and platform PM. So that's more technical. So everybody who's already technical today, engineers, QAs. I think this is the best way for you to go, where we all have to become more technical if we're staying in product building industry anyway. And systems PM and platform PM would be paid more, but their job is more technical already. So they own APIs. They set up the data pipelines. They work on these internal tools, which are the oftentimes the heavier part, and um, is not visible. It oftentimes doesn't have a pretty UI, but it's like a core of your product. And these are the people who set up technical strategy long term. So they look at the architecture, they set up those MCPs, making sure that different AI agents and different models are being used and connected. But if you're not technical yet, I think the systems and PM or platform PM would be really hard to get into right away. So you can start with product builder. Product builder is basically, let me let my dog out. A product builder is basically when you come to the beginning of, hey, we have idea, we want to run an MVP, test it out, and everybody can do it now. You can start with that. This is where you can uh, start with startups. You can build your own MVP. It's low code, no code, and I'll give you the tools that you should definitely use in our 90-day plan. And a lot of the resources I'm giving are free. So you have no excuses. You got zero excuses. If you really want to change your path in 2026 or improve your career, all you have to do is follow the steps. A lot of it, it's not only YouTube, but free online courses that you can take. Anyway, we'll get to that. But my point is that you can find a lot of jobs today that is product management, but the descriptions are going to be different. And frankly, like recruiters are still catching up on these descriptions as well as the leadership, right? They're trying to shove in so many different things into product management today as an old role, but the role has changed, right? We don't need people to just manage other people. There is a lot more technical expectation. So that's why the roles are going to change. And just looking at job positions in 2025, product owner, does anybody know what product owner is? Give me thumbs up if yes. Product owner. Do you guys know what product owner is? I think Anna Sparks should know. Okay, there you go. Olga knows. Yeah, so product owner is a role that is close to product manager. Mm, and so it's already has been out there since probably 2010 and whatnot, because we have agile methodology, and it's a portion of agile methodology. You have a scrum master, you have a development team, scrum master works closely with the engineers, and then you have a product owner who is kind of the face of your customers. So it's not a full-on product manager role, but it's very close to that, where you gather all the expectations from customers, you prioritize them, you kind of do all this pre-work before it comes to the engineering team. And so that's what product owner is. They don't, oftentimes you can have a couple of product owners for one product. And then if you're lucky, you can have the product manager who deals with these product owners, not deals, but works with these product owners and looking at their priority list, then they reshuffle it based on the company's or the product roadmap and strategy, because not every feature that your customer wants will actually be executed. And so product manager is a popular role. It's been around for a while. So we know all of that. Product orchestrator is a new role. And I just put in a couple of screenshots so you can see that there's product operation analyst, product development manager, uh, product manager, e-commerce, right? Like they at least give you a little bit of a detail in the description, um, what you're gonna do. Then digital assets management, although it's product management, and then senior product specialist and product owner, product lead. Again, a lot of these, when you go through them, they have a variety, a very big difference in the job descriptions. And my dog is back. Okay, so hence, as the leadership is figuring it out, has been figuring it out this year, and that's why there's so many changes and shifts. The roles are going to be well better defined, as a lot of companies have already made a bunch of mistakes, and there will be rehiring. This is my bet on 2026. Now, have you experienced AI confidence? And this is where I am happy if you either um, comment or send a message. Have you used ChatGPT, Claude, any of the models? Okay. Olga has, Vika has. Um, I assume everybody has, but I don't know. Please let me know. Yes, sure. Maybe not all. Not a pro, but still. Okay. All right. So if you have experienced any of them, have you noticed how confident they are in their answers? And have you noticed that they make mistakes? Uh, Please raise your hand whoever experienced this entire year or last year mistakes that were made by ChatGPT or any other ones. Okay, I see uh, a lot of thumbs up. Yeah, so this is the problem. The problem is that whenever the model responds, it will give you an answer as if it knows for sure. Sometimes, when there are restrictions and guardrails put in place, you know, then it will say, unfortunately, I can respond, or I cannot tell you, or something like that. But otherwise, it will come up with stuff. And especially when it comes to things that we product managers do, like, for example, hey, I need to figure out the market of this, the total available market for this industry, right? They will come up with data, but here's the thing, they don't have any access to private data, like private research like from Gartner or other institutions, if those institutions didn't publish it publicly and they only have the private, subscription based. So again, if you look into these models, they are great at like doing some predictions that are kind of short term, and they're trying to guess a lot of times, especially when the exact answer wasn't like given, that information wasn't fed into the model. So that's our strength. Cannot make decisions. If it makes decisions and we just follow the decisions of a model, who's going to be responsible? We humans should still take responsibility for things, and it makes mistakes. So we are not in AGI, which is great for us. We have the time to transition more smoothly. And again, while 2026 was wild, that doesn't mean that 2026 is going to be less wild, but it also, I think, in the job market is going to be a little bit more steady because everybody's a little bit coming down a little bit with this whole AI fever, realizing that there's still mistakes made. A lot of money has been poured into building infrastructure and data centers, but the financial part of investments into AI hasn't shown up yet, right? So we can't prove that we're making so much cost savings and things like that in every field. I think there are a couple of them, like customer support and a little bit like of supply chain, possibly, and a couple of other industries, but anyway, we still got time. So let's focus on that. So the human in the loop advantage, you are still needed there. AI hallucinates confidently. AI doesn't understand the incentives. So in fact, my friend and I were trying to build this, decision log app, and we found it very challenging to do. That was our MVP. And it is so risky, right? Like even if you feed anything about like, hey, this is the politics of the company, this is what this person is like and this is what that person is like, it's it will make such a mess of it, right? So there's no human intelligence yet, like the EQ is not added in. So it misses organizational politics, team dynamics, and what actually motivates people. So you have to navigate it. Um, and when it comes to AI optimizing locally, it solves the immediate problems without understanding system-wide consequences. So you're the one who's looking into like strategy, bigger picture, what other teams within your corporation or in your company are doing. And you've, heard things from other, team members, and it really, really matters, right? So and AI doesn't take accountability, which is one of the biggest ones. When things go wrong, AI doesn't get fired. So those things you kind of know probably already. So AI agents are reshaping PM work. Um, when it comes to market research that I mentioned, again, it only has public information. When my students and I go through research, and every time when we start a semester, each student has to build an MVP of a product and they come up with an idea. And they have to do the market research first. And so they look up ChatGPT, Claude, Google research to find out, okay, what is the total available market and what are the numbers? Is it like 9 billion total market, or is it smaller? How much competition do I have? And this is where it actually fails. Because, first of all, every time when I try and search this, being here in Silicon Valley, I see so many startups that when I do the research, none of it shows up on ChatGPT or Google. Well, Google might have like a long list, but it's hard for you to go through each of the links and test it out, right? So this market research still requires you as a human to dig deeper, go into the private research and reports, and kind of do a lot of dirty work. And so, hence, when you chat GPT or I don't know what you use, Gemini maybe, for the market research, you still have a lot of mistakes, and the evaluation of your industry is oftentimes way off. It's like bazooka, $15 billion. And if you put that on your pitch deck for investors, they will be questioning your decisions because if you just chat GPT it, it doesn't look serious and you can't back your numbers. And if you ask ChatGPT, it will give you, again, very confident answers, but you have to question these models all the time. So please do that. When it comes to competitive analysis, as I said, doesn't have access to all the startups and latest and greatest. PRD drafts are pretty okay because they're very standard, right? It's a template. So in PRDs, I think they're doing pretty okay, but it doesn't think outside the box. It doesn't have like real creativity. And so oftentimes if we go with a lazy choice, then we'll just have a very, mm, you know, kind of mediocre answer. So I push you to think about like when you write a PRD, which is for everybody product requirement document. So this is the main feature requirement document that you're writing. This is like, here's what my customers need to have, and this is what is acceptable for this requirement to go through. You want to start with a draft, not just a little blurb and go the lazy way. I know it's tempting and we all do it often, but it then puts you in the box. And it's very easy to see when it's just a PRD, and it's kind of annoying when you're like, oh, you haven't done any work, and now you want me to read your chat GPT answer. You might as well give me a link. Don't pretend like it's your work. User insight synthesis. So it's only based on the information that you've given it. Roadmap simulations, those are pretty okay because most of the times, if you are the one giving all the points of like what you've planned, then it will do just fine because it's very like predictable and it's your content. Um, so what AI cannot do well is read between the lines, sense political risks, build trust with stakeholders, own outcomes, and make trade-offs, which is a huge part of a product manager role. And then it translates communication between devs and PMs. So this is what you do, not currently. There's no AI that does that. In fact, I had a call with one of my startups yesterday, and we were discussing an idea of how you can have an AI that we would want to build that would be between ChatGPT, between Claude and GitHub, and it would do this work. But again, as of 2025, there's no match to that today. All right, what skills actually matter? So I think I've talked about it, so I'm just gonna focus just on one thing. Problem framing, technical literacy is something that if before did not require it from product managers, today it's a must. AI prompting and workflow design, strategic communication and decision making under uncertainty. AI prompting and workflow design, and some of the workshops that I've included in our 90-day plan is having the workflow design, and it's a free course. So it's not my course; it's a course that I recommend to others. What you do need is understand how AI models work and where they break, because they break. So this should give you positivity and optimism because they're not perfect, which means you're still needed and you're still going to be needed. It's just that product management role as it was is no longer going to be the standard. And many jobs are just changing the roles. It doesn't mean that humans are not going to be needed. Estimate technical feasibility without needing a five-person scoping meeting. Again, we're just going faster now, right? It's not like we are because the tools are available to all, now we build more products actually, right? There's going to be more competition for simple things, and there's going to be a lot more accessibility to everybody who has the internet. Okay, so you want to speak engineering language fluently without pretending to be one. You don't have to be the engineer. The engineers have been telling me for this entire year that 2025, a lot of them have written almost zero code. I mean, they're exaggerating, but point being, everybody's in Cursor, in Claude, everybody who's an engineer, I mean, and they're just MVPing, they're just testing things out, they're building apps to prototype quickly exactly what they want to see, okay, is it going to work, is it not going to work? And it's amazing. They're just like 10xing themselves. So let's look at it from the bright perspective. And if you have a great idea and you're technical, this is the time for you to build your prototype and see if people find you. In fact, in our cohort, our bootcamp at Upskill PM, we teach you how you come with your idea. You build the entire product within 3 months, and you learn within 3 months also how to pitch. We practice pitching to investors. We practice how to rewrite your resume, how to prep for your interview. We rewrite your LinkedIn and do a lot of different workshops with setting up workflows, starting with simple things like you set up a workflow in Zapier, you build an AI agent. Those are the simple ones that you start with. Since we have only 3 months, I try to have all the basics. We have five other mentors other than me. It's a full-on team working on you being improved within 3 months, and then we set you up with an internship, and this is where you gain even more practical skills because you work with a real engineering team, and this is how you gain more experience in AI startups. If you don't have this technical skills and lingo, again, this is where you should focus on the next 90 days. So, the new year starts. I recommend you take these steps that I will be sharing and just schedule them into your January, February, and March. And so by the end of March, you're gonna be so much more prepared. And I would strongly recommend take time for learning. It's like during COVID time when everybody took some time for learning, and those who did, it paid off. Okay, so how to become technical fast. These are the handpicked courses and trainings that are free, most of them. I think the only that is not free is this one, machine learning, offered by Stanford University and deep learning. But there is a very similar course. It's Yan Nguyen who teaches it. He one year he was actually running for to be a president, I think. Andrew, no, Andrew NG. And you can go on YouTube and find a similar course. The only difference is that here it's more structured and there's additional lecturers, and there's like workshops and such. On YouTube, if you Google Andrew Ng for machine learning, Stanford, it will be a like free lectures, but you have to go through the entire like 1.5 hours of him talking about the solid stuff and some just fluff. So if you want it more structured with homework, go with machine learning specialization on Coursera. And if you want to go cheaper, go YouTube for free. So number one step, you want to replace one workflow with AI. So focus on that. To do that, Zapier is a kind of a no-code platform. Why I recommend it is because I'm not getting paid for any of these, by the way. It's because we use it all the time. It's such an easy intro to building workflows and AI agents, and the workflow can be as simple as you set up your email to respond to specific title of of an email, or you put a calendar and an email, and you automate where the calendar invite gets created through Zapier. You can add more. You can have, like, for example, for me, I have Zapier that is connected to Zoom, so then you guys get an email notification if you guys got some. So things like that. And in this link, as I share the presentation, you'll be able to click on all of these things. But this is a free course, and you can just follow through the steps to build your first one. And as you build something, I recommend you highly to use your LinkedIn as your portfolio. You can, of course, go to GitHub, and that's like the next step that we teach at our school. But you can start easy because LinkedIn is more public, and every time you ship something or build something, you take a screenshot, which actually on LinkedIn it works better if you use photos, as at least for now, and then you have some text calling out what you've built this week and what progress you've seen and like the benefits of it, right? Use a STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. And if you do that, has everybody heard about STAR method? Sometimes I talk about all these things, assuming that you guys all know that. So STAR method, if you also Google that, it's how you answer questions in the interview, and this is how you can also post on LinkedIn as well anytime you build something. Amazing. A lot of people know that. Okay, the other one that I recommend, YouTube. On YouTube, very simple system design primer, free training on how to think in system design. So you can, again, start with that. And let's say you allocate a week or less or more, depending on your schedule, just to do these two simple things. I'm not bombarding you with like a million of things specifically so that it's achievable. The next thing, and if you're already technical, you probably don't need that, but the ChatGPT prompt engineering for developers is a good one. The reason I say that is because I actually had an engineer in Spring who I worked with, and he's very experienced engineer. But when it comes to product, his prompts were always so technical. He's always focused on, the technicalities of it, not so much on the customer. He doesn't think through from the business perspective. He's not thinking about the money necessarily, or things like that, or the benefits for the customer. What problems are we solving? So helping them to shift that way he found it really helpful at his job. And so you can use this little training for prompt engineering for developers. Um, and non-developers can try that too, but I think it could be a step two after these two. The next step that I'd recommend you do is machine learning that I was just mentioning about. Again, there are some that are online on YouTube that are free. Um, I've gone through several of them. There's also the Google one that is free. The problem with it is it's so simple. To me, it sounded so simple that it's kind of fluff. If you already know what machine learning is, like the basics, you know, you might want to take Coursera. At least it's a little bit more detailed out. And so they kind of go through transformers and NLP a little bit more deeply than what I've seen in Google free course. Okay, if you don't know APIs, learn API with Postman. This is a free course. Also recommend. Now, let's imagine you've allocated 30 days to this, right? You could do it in 90 days, you could do it in less time if you'd like. It just depends. Maybe it's like 45 days. I think by my calculation it was about 45 days is if you just use like maybe weekends. And then we can go to ship on AI assisted product. So again, you tried to do a simple AI agent that is within Zapier, which is like you're just prompting it. One of the things that I will combine because it was part of the slide that I think I have not included. In every class that we teach at Upskill PM, for every single class, we have an AI tool. For example, when we have prototyping, we use Figma Make. So our product designer teaches how to use Figma Make, super easy, right? You can learn how to use Figma fully. That's great. Figma Make creates a prototype very quickly. You can use Lovable, you can use Base 44. All of those are no-code products that you can use, but they require some, usually you run out of your tokens, your coins that you can use. Every prompt is spending your coins, right? And so then you have to pay for it. Figma Make is, I believe it's at least either free for first 30 days or free completely. I know that we've been using free version at our in our classes, and it creates a prototype right away in pretty good quality. So after you've done that, you can take it up a notch. You can build with Codex with a Chat GPT, and it's like the next step. So there is some code that you can like play with as well. And the fourth step, of course, including my own school. Again, like we have six mentors, including me, and we build the entire product. You build the entire product, and we just help you do that. And you have all the workshops. The workshops that are included with the business product management fundamentals, we teach you how to write those PRDs. We teach you how to write all the documentation. We take you from kind of zero to hero, from ideation, like here's my idea, to how do you build your segmentation, who are going to be your customers, your personas, what's your ICP, which is ideal customer persona. Then we build business model canvas. So it's a one slide showing you the entire business that you're going to be doing, like how are you going to monetize, how are you going to sell, what's your strategy, like go to market. And so all of those items, how do you interview your customers, how do you survey them later, what is going to be in the MVP, what's important, what's not, how do you scope complexity technically as well. All those things we do, along with what's the difference between a spec, what is the PRD, how to write that, how do you build a roadmap. So it's a very rich 3 months of experience for sure. And then after that, we also set you up with internships. There's different options that you can pick. We have one that is you just go through the training on Teachable. This is the platform we use by yourself. Then it's on your own time, and you're not bound to like, okay, I have to be in all these online, these live sessions as well. But you don't get the feedback of the teacher live. So like there are those kind of minuses, and you don't get the internship. But some of you don't need it either. So there's cheaper versions where it's like $49 for the course to learn by yourself. There's another one that is without the internship that is a little bit higher, and then the full training. But there's another. Yeah, so this is a little bit about what we do here. Um, and I can answer all you guys' questions. We have a lot of toolkits of like which PMs to follow, who to connect to, what are the right communities to be a part of to kind of showcase yourself. So even if you had no product management experience, we will walk you through everything. But this is the offer that we also have for today, and this is you guys are the first one to see it. Is this is the first time when we are offering you like a test drive where for just $20 you can do a full on week starting January 5th till the 11th before we start a full course. You get three different sessions lives, and you have access to our full training for that week, where you can learn how to be a product manager, what's in it. We'll have workshops, exercises. So you test it out. And if you're like, product management is not for me, you're out. $20 is like what, coffee and a croissant where I live. I don't know where you guys live, but yeah, so this is an option for you as well. And we do have some webinars and workshops that we offer during the year as well. So regardless, sign up to Upskill PM, whether it's you can subscribe on our website or our Instagram, on LinkedIn. We're basically everywhere. So before I move on to LinkedIn, any questions that you have now? Great, great. Okay, awesome. What kind of mistakes, in your view, junior and mid-level make and how to avoid them? Okay, first of all, when you say I can do anything, everybody has their own strengths and their weaknesses. And if you say, oh, I can do anything and I have like a year of experience or 2 years of experience, that means you'll try to do anything. That's good. You're willing to like learn and such, but we won't know what your strength is, and so we will think, okay, he or she is probably maybe a little bit of everything, but they don't even yet know their own strength, right? So we can tell that you're more junior. Usually, when you have an experienced person in any field, actually, they will be kind of more niche. Like a lot of PMs that I see, they even on their LinkedIn, they will say PM expert in go-to-market or product market fit. Like that's their expertise because these are different stages of a product life cycle, right? There's about seven stages of life cycle. Product life cycle. Some would define five, some would define seven, but overall, it's like the ideation, the development, then you execute, and then you kind of release it. Then you get that feedback loop, and you continue on and on, right? And so in each of these stages, like the product market fit is the beginning, right? This is the when a PM says I'm expert in product market fit, finding product market fit, that means they're in the beginning. Like they usually are best for the startups or somebody who's just figuring out if that idea is going to work, um, finding those users. When it goes to go to market strategy, that's a little bit next stage, right? How are you going to expand? How are you going to grow in the market? But then there's also the growth leaders. That's like, okay, you kind of plateaued at growing, and you need somebody who comes in with new ideas and who expands and who finds new markets. So it's not just new users, it's bigger than that, right? And so everybody who's senior usually have a little bit more of that description of what they're good at. um, Hope that answered your question. And again, yeah, if you're just copying from ChatGPT, that is a no-no. Okay, which metrics actually matter for beginners as PM? How to understand which could be used? Oh, haha. Yeah, yes, yes. Amazing question. This is data analytics and metrics could be its own. course, and I know a lot of people have it, it's like its own course. We have data analytics, and the class is being taught by a person who is a business analyst at Amazon. And I also teach like the kind of the intro level, and then she takes it up a notch, right? And so this is what we do actually within our school, where depending on whether it's B2B or B2C, what kind of product it is, what's your business goal, based on that, your metrics are going to be different. Like, what is the North Star metric, the main metric? How are you going to define it? Because you're going to say, okay, well, if it's a B2C and it's kind of like a Spotify or something, we just want to acquire as many users as possible. These are our types of users, the performers, the singers, and the podcast owners, and so the creators basically, and the users who are going to be consuming the content, right? And then from there, you're like, okay, I want to acquire more of the users and I want to acquire more of the content creators. And my business goal can change every year, right? So based on your business goal and your OKRs, which is objective key results that your leadership sets up, you are changing the metrics that are going to be the most important. Now, oftentimes the product North Star metric stays the same for quite a while. So, for example, as I was working at Microsoft, working on the CRM, and my specific product was chat and all the chat bots, all the agents, the human agent was the most important for me, right? I want to make sure that my agent who sits there and responds to customers has the best experience, which, I'm not going to talk about the CRM itself and its flaws, but point being is that there is a metric that is CSAT, right? Customer satisfaction. In my case, it was ASAT. We just renamed it, agent satisfaction. So even though the chat is for consumers a lot of times, or for business, also consumers to use, and say, I'm happy with the product, or I have a problem, I have a question. For me, because we're on the CRM side, the agent was the main customer. Hence, ASAT was the driving force. And again, depending on your product, you can define that. So there is a math, or there's a methodology to it to define which metric you most likely going to go. Hope that helps. Since the question is kind of vague, you don't have specific, hey, this is what my company is about, this is what my product is. It's I can only answer with my examples. Any other questions? I think we have a little bit of time before I kind of talk about LinkedIn. Sure, you're welcome. Yes, Victor, go ahead.
Okay, one question. On
Hmm.
using AI or on using an AI model,
Hmm.
where do you draw the line as to what tasks you outsource to an AI model?
Mm.
Where do are there specific tasks you cannot give or outsource to an AI model that you have to do by yourself?
Yeah, so that's also a great question. So there's two different modes. First of all, when you work for a company, you should not be putting anything that is company related into a public ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever. If you work for a bigger organization, usually they have their own kind of like a instant or instance. So, for example, for a big corporation like Microsoft, they have their own private Copilot, which we are actually being promoted to use. But we're not supposed to be using even Copilot that is public. And usually, when you have the work computer, you basically have only the private Copilot everywhere since then. But you don't want to use, like, okay, I'm working on this feature request and I have this information about my product and some metrics or some stakeholders, and then I put it into public chat GPT. That's a no-no, because you are leaking information about your company. So that's we draw the line there. If, for example, it's for um, personal project and you're using ChatGPT, I use it relentlessly. I use Claude as well. I've tried Gemini, and I like Gemini in some cases. The One of the things that a product manager, a product builder, you will know is that the reason why the fight between all these models is so intense is because whoever is first is usually a winner for a while. So although I am liking Gemini, the problem is already for me that ChatGPT knows more about me because I've talked to it longer and it has more historical data than Gemini. So I still have to retrain Gemini to fully move on to Gemini. See? Um, so but anyway, anytime I work on a new idea, I will use both of those systems. Now, there is a risk that my thoughts or my ideas are being used, but frankly, ideas are worth nothing until you actually implement them. Everybody has a lot of ideas. It's about the implementation. In fact, I had a video about like here are the ideas every day. I have a list of ideas that I give to my students when if they cannot come up with something in the beginning of the course, right? Ideas worth nothing until it's like the implementation time. Param pam pam. For LinkedIn, everybody has a LinkedIn. I hope you do. Okay, so one of the things, I'm just gonna show mine and we'll get through it very quickly and then I'll be able to answer any of your additional questions. So my following is not like super duper strong. I do have a lot of activity, let's put it that way, but I have like not even 3,000 followers yet, but it's the quality of my audience. Currently, the audience I have is mostly seniors and startup founders, company founders, very senior product managers. And it's a funny, tricky thing when I'm moving now to fully do the product school and growing our product school, where I am now growing the audience of juniors as well. And so that's why my content is not so much about for seniors anymore. Um, my network really helps my students to get into the startups. So that's really good. But here's what you have to have. You have to have your headline of like what are you specializing in, right? So this is where I write my little intro. Um, in the about, you could see that you can actually have more bullet points. I kept it short, but as you can tell, every time when you look at somebody's profile, it will show you the first three lines. So you got to grab their attention there. Um, and then posting. Why I post almost every working day on LinkedIn, or my team helps me to be honest. It's because LinkedIn, in comparison to Instagram and other platforms, is focused on professionals, and LinkedIn itself is very interested in promoting good content to raise their engagement. That's their goal. Because their business goal right now is raising engagement, they will promote a post that is getting traction, right? And then they will show it to more people. So some of my posts went really well. Um, and I think it was a couple of weeks ago, like a news statement, right? And it reached I don't remember about 220,000 impressions. That was good, right? Again, I'm bringing more audience to me. My focus is juniors right now. For you, most likely you are looking for the seniors. You're looking for those startup founders and company CEOs and VPs. Then there's a section of experience. Every achievement or every job that you had, because if you're tailoring it to product manager, you need to have an achievement, and it needs to be measurable. I raised market growth, or I raised percentage of users by 30% in third quarter by doing ABC, right? Something like that. And so measurable achievements for each point. That's what product managers are for, and hence it's not about your activities. Like I did this, I did that, I built a roadmap. I mean, you're expected to build a roadmap. What did this roadmap do, right? We only care about your results, not about your activities. So that's what you need to redo for sure if you have that issue. And then your education goes in your certification. I would recommend to, if you are starting PM, just get a Scrum Master certification, a product owner certification, because it doesn't take that long. You basically can get it done in a week if you had some product management or some experience working with engineering team and you've seen the product owner, Scrum Master, you could train and really quickly get that certification. PMP, which is project management, used to be very valuable. I think it still is, but if you're not a project manager, you can skip that. And that actually requires 4,800 hours of like you writing this in the Excel. They don't actually check everything, to be honest. So up to you, but it does require way more studying. They're really particular about correct answers, not necessarily the reality that happens at a company, how you actually deal with stuff, but like by the book. So, I would skip that because it takes way, way long. And if you're in product management, that doesn't add as much value. And then recommendation. This is like other than skills that you can add, the recommendations are actually important. As you click on this little button, you can ask for recommendation and you can give recommendations. Why is it important? You give recommendations to your peers, you give recommendations to your friends, and then you ask for one. At least half of them should give it back to you. And what does it do? It makes your profile look real, look like a real person that worked with other real people. So it's a little bit more lively. It doesn't mean that you need to have like hundreds. I'm not like continuously actively ask everybody to give me recommendations, but it just adds a little bit of a human side to it. And let's go back to my little points. So don't put links into the post. If you put a link within your own post, the LinkedIn is going to hide it, so it's not going to promote it. Hence, when you see my post, if you've seen my post on LinkedIn, the most of the times the links have to be in the comments section. Otherwise, LinkedIn is just gonna not promote. Because oftentimes it takes you to some other website, right? So post often, I mentioned that. Comment on other people's posts. So your activity needs to be back and forth. If you post it, and especially if you have like a either supportive one or just congratulations, kind of like, hey, it's okay. But when something happens and there's a discussion, let's say there's something about AI or something about NVIDIA or something else, and then you put some smart remarks with your opinion, especially look for those who have like hundreds of thousands of following, like they have influence already. If you're the one who's posting or commenting the soonest, most of the times people will start liking your comment and they will be checking out like, who is this Victor? Who is that Alexandra? Who is that Alexandra? Opa, there's an echo. So, hence, that's why I recommend that you also follow people, comment, do that work, because this is how you're going to be exposed. Other people will see you attached, associated with this high value person with smart remarks. Okay, reply to comments of others, share your articles. Okay, so articles are a very strong tool, which honestly I haven't used for a while. And I believe that years ago when I actually wrote articles, this is how I got most of my connections, a lot of my connections. Because when you write the article within LinkedIn itself and you share it, that's the one link that they will not hide, they will promote it because you're posting your content that is at least 3 paragraphs that is valuable. This is where you can really leverage it. If you build this AI agent or something that you've done, this is your accomplishment. Go and write a little kind of PR about it. Like, hey, this was amazing. This is what I've done. This is the idea I had. This is how it, what the results were. Recommend this tool or recommend to do this ABCD. And as an article, then you post it as your post, and LinkedIn will promote it, and other people will share it if they find it useful. And as they share it, all the links go back to you. So again, LinkedIn is a strong tool, especially right now. They're so interested in you creating content. Oh, there's one more thing, a secret thing that I recommend you do. So, as you're looking for a job, there's one secret sauce that nobody tells you how to get shown. So, there's jobs portion, right, where you're looking for a job and you are, you know, applying for it. Now, on the recruiter side, when they are looking for people, if I don't remember where I need to look for it. Product, let's see. I think, let's say product manager. And then if I think I have people, no, people. If I click on people, it oftentimes shows me either my connections and the people who just updated their profile. Whoever updated their profile recently will be shown up in these pages. So I have a lot of product managers in my network, so of course they're showing. But let's say I have fewer. I mean, I have a lot of different people. But let's say, who do I not have? I think I have everybody. But let's say it's going to be sales. Sales? I think I have fewer sales. And then people. So see, these are okay. I have one connection. But everybody who have updated their profile latest, they are showing up, which means every time when you're in a job search, every day as you come in, change anything. Like you can just do this and you can put a dot in here and save it. And that will refresh your page. So this is a little trick that I've learned from somebody. And I recommend you do the same. I hope you found it useful. There's a lot of other tips that I give my students, but we're at 11:20. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to ask more questions, and I'll let you guys go to enjoy your Saturday. Any questions? If you come up with questions later, you can find me on LinkedIn and just Ali Owens. And ask me there. We will be sending out an email with the video and with the slides. I hope you enjoyed the session and have a wonderful Saturday.